Hello again everyone, welcome to the Empire. You are here on the Gaming and Tech channel with me, Dave, and I am back doing some video game reviews after what feels like an eternity offline. Obviously I've been doing a bit of written content here and there, but it's just not the same. So, this week I'm having a look at a couple of games, and they are both PlayStation 4 exclusives, but they're both remasters of PSP games. So, this week we are going to have a look at Loco Roco and Patapon. I'm going to start with Loco Roco because it came through first and I've had a little bit longer to play it. This is a interesting little game. You are a bunch of little yellow dudes who can combine into one big yellow dude, and you've got a bunch of evil little sooty dudes with dreadlocky float things that have come along and are wrecking your planet, and you've got to get yourselves together and go forth and do stuff or something. I'm not quite sure because obviously there's no actual words in this game. It's all kind of happy and tuneful without actually having lyrics, but it's got noises, so I'm not quite sure where exactly this one's going, but I do think that it works really well for two demographics. One, you have children and they really get into it because the noises that the little dudes make is a lot like baby speak, and if you don't have babies or you haven't experienced babies in any meaningful way, you would just look at it and go, what am I being subjected to? But if you have children, then it will actually be quite nice for you because you'll be like, oh, that's cute, because you've got kids and you get it and it's understandable and relevant. So that's the first group. The other group is a bit more obvious, and it's just people who are just baked out of their skulls 24 hours a day, because no matter what, the pretty colours and the happy music and everything, it's cool, man. Everything will be awesome. So yeah. Is the game any fun? It's a good question. It is, in a harmless, kind of slightly platformery slide away. You know, it's obviously been remastered, so they've upped the graphics to 1080p. It runs at 60 frames per second smoothly and everything like you'd expect it to. But you control the world with the shoulder buttons. That's about it. You know, the left shoulder tilts the world left, the right shoulder tilts it right. And then if you push the two buttons down and let them go, it makes your one or many little Loco Roco dudes jump up and down. And that's it, really. The game kind of plays a lot, you know, like a gravity-based platforming game, which I guess is kind of what it is. It's unique. You're not going to see anything like it. It's family friendly. It's very family friendly, actually, apart from the points in the game where you encounter the bad guys and you've got to try and figure out if you can stomp them down before all your wee dudes up. This game is just it's just cheerful and nice and out there. So yeah, if I was going to give this a score, I'd probably go for about a 7. 7 out of 10. That's what it gets. Alright, so the second game that I'm looking at this week, and also a PSP remaster, is Patapon. Patapon places you in the shoes of godhood to a small tribe of little one-eyed dudes who are just trying to see go about their way in the world against all the nasty little armies and other little big scary creatures in their, stylistically rendered 2D world. This game is a curious mixture of rhythm-based gameplay and real-time strategy, and I must admit I find it difficult to get invested in this one. I find it to be a little bit less immediately approachable than Loco Roco, because this is not quite as family friendly. Obviously, it deals with some of the the themes of war and stuff like that, whereas Loco Roco is just a happy little sing-along platformer. Anyone can play that. This one, it's not going to be an R15, but certainly you might not want little Johnny and little Susie sitting down to destroy the opponents and everything else on this one. Again, it's been updated well, considering it was originally released on PSP. They've made sure that it has maintained its style without without trying to force it into funky 3D or anything like that. So from a very stylistic perspective, it looks good, but it's certainly not going to compete against any of your, Horizons or Neos or any of those other sort of mind-bogglingly pretty games that are out there on the PS4. I'm going to rate this one 6, not because I don't like it. I mean, it is tricky for me to be able to get into this game, if I'm honest, particularly when it's up against some of the games that I've just mentioned for my time. But I just don't think it's quite as easy and quite as approachable and quite as enjoyable as Loco Roco. They're both $24 on the PlayStation 4 store at the moment, and if I was going to buy one of them, it would definitely be Loco Roco, because for me, having a family means that, this is something that I can share with my children, whereas Patapon would be purely a nostalgia trip for me, but I never even played it on the PSP originally. So there you have it. Those are the two games that I have got most recently from our friends over at Sony, and I've got something else coming up in the next week as well, so hopefully this is the start of a video resurgence. I guess we'll just have to keep tuned and see where it goes. As always, don't forget to throw us a like, comment, favourite and subscribe if you've enjoyed this content, and we will see about getting more of it out there for you. Thanks very much for listening. This was Dave, and you're on the Empire.